And good morning, everyone. Pardon me. Welcome back. My name is Don K. Preston. I'm the president of Preterist Research Institute of Ardmore, Oklahoma, and this is what I call my morning musings. I'm sharing with you some thoughts in response to viewer questions about what happens to the believer when we die. Pardon me. There are some, unfortunately, out there, the materialist of the world, the atheist of the world, agnostics, who believe that when man dies, they're just like Rover, they're dead all over. But no one in the history of mankind has given us a glimpse, not only a glimpse, into the reality of life after death, but the assurance of life after death. I've shared with you some passages such as John 8:51, John 6, John 10, in which Jesus said, if a man loves me and if a man keeps my commandments, he will never die. Now, obviously, if Jesus was speaking of biological, physical life, then he was a lunatic or he was a liar, because everybody who has ever lived biologically since then has died physically. Jesus was undeniably speaking of a life that transcends physical life, that physical death does not effect. Well, I've shared with you from Philippians chapter 1, where Paul said that it was better for him to continue to live physically in order to be of assistance to the Philippians. But it was his desire to depart and to be with Christ, which, he said, is far better. Far better than what? Better than remaining in the flesh. Better than remaining alive on earth. Now, look, let's face it. If Paul knew, understood, and believed that biological death was the end of his existence, there is nothing that would be better about dying, better than remaining and enjoying the human relationships. Remember, Paul said that dying and being with Christ was better than being with the Philippians. The Philippians whom he loved. The church that he had personally established. And so, when Paul says that it is far better for him to die and to be with Christ, better even than to continue to enjoy the beloved, cherished human relationships, that gives us, pardon me, that gives us some marvelous, marvelous insight into not only the reality, but into the nature of life after death. Because remember, that wasn't for Paul only, as Jesus promised the churches of Revelation. Be thou faithful unto death, and I'll give you a crown of life. See, that's the same kind of far better life that Paul was anticipating and that would arrive at the parousia. So we have here in Paul the assurance and the ever so brief glimpse into the nature of life after death. But we'll have more. So thanks for joining me for this morning's Morning Musings, and we'll see you on the flip side.